pitching number 5, Alexia Lacapena. Les substituts, the alternates, numéro 3, number 3, Alessandra Rotondo. Numéro 4, number 4, Fabrizio Marone. Numéro 7, number 7, Ilaria Cacciamani. Numéro 10, number 10, Anita Attoli. Numéro 16, number 16, Alice Nicolini. Numéro 24, number 24, Cristina Tognolo. Team Italy. Voici l'équipe locale pour ce match. Here's the home team for this game. Team Japan. Frappant première, sur le centre, numéro 26, batting first, playing center field, number 26, Nakagawa Ayane. Frappant deuxième, vers les cours, numéro 5, batting second, shortstop, number 5, Ishikawa Hiroko. Frappant troisième, sur le gauche, numéro 19, batting third, playing left field, number 19, Tsukamoto Hotaru. Au quatrième rang, sur le droite, numéro 18, batting fourth, playing right field, number 18, Kawamura Riza. Au cinquième, joueur troisième, numéro 15, batting fifth, playing third base, number 15, Kawabata Hikomi. Au sixième rang, joueur deuxième, numéro 16, batting sixth, playing second base, number 16, Kudo Kanna. Au septième, joueur désigné numéro 6, batting 7, designated player number 6, Nakamizo Yui. Au huitième, joueur premier numéro 25, batting 8, playing first base, number 25, Sumitani Haruka. Au neuvième, receveur numéro 24, batting 9, catcher number 24, Akatsuma Haruka. En la position flex, lanceur numéro 23, in the flex position, pitcher number 23, Niwa Sakura. Les substituts, the alternates, numéro 13, number 13, Goto Miu. Numéro 21, number 21, Ueno Yukiko. Numéro 22, number 22, Katsuhata Mizaki. Numéro 14, number 14, Iishi Yume. Numéro 17, number 17, Naito Minori. Numéro 7, number 7, Harada Miloka. Team Japan. Les arbitres pour ce match, the umpires for this game. Au mound, on home plate, Ali Isho. Au premier but at first base, Mike Semchuk. Au deuxième but at second base, Terry Richter. Au troisième but at third base, Randy Homer. Mesdames et messieurs, évidemment, vous l'avez, si vous en êtes capable, de retirer chapeaux et casquettes pour l'interprétation des hymnes nationaux de l'Italie et du Japon. Ladies and gentlemen, please now rise if you are able. Remove your hats and caps for the national anthems of Italy and Japan. Bonne chance aux deux équipes. Bon match. Best of luck to both teams. Have a great game.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to game number 3 on day number 1 of the Canada Cup Women's International Softball event here at Softball City. My name is Peter Loubardius, and an absolute pleasure to welcome to the broadcast booth for the first time in this event, and we hope for many years to come, potentially, if she's interested. It is longtime shortstop with Team Italy, an Olympian in 2021, which was supposed to be in 2020, Amanda Fama. Amanda, welcome. And I can only imagine what kind of emotions might be running through you right now, having to call a game of the team that you spent so many years playing for.
Yeah, Peter, I'm excited to be here, first of all, and it's exciting to see Team Italy out on the field. It's a little emotional to not be with them on the field, but I love being here to watch Italy play Japan of all teams and to be out here in the Canada Cup.
Well, it's great to have you, and really looking forward to working together and understanding all the insight that you'll be able to bring with great knowledge of playing against so many of the players that are participating in this 8-team tournament. Now, Japan has already played a game today. They knocked off Australia, and it's not Australia's A team. They're getting set for one of 3 World Cup qualifiers. It's their development team. They're 1-0 in the tournament. Italy about to make their debut. I think it's pretty evident. What makes Japan such a powerhouse in this sport?
They dominate the sport, I think, just with their mentality and the repetitions and how they perceive the game in their culture. It's like no other country, and I think that shows on the field.
They are the reigning Olympic gold medalists. They were the finalists at last year's World Games in Birmingham, and this, to me, is the most interesting matchup, if you will, on day number 1 in Japan taking on Italy. Italy, the leadoff batter is their first base player, Marta Gasparotto, facing the starting pitcher, Sakura Miwa. And this is a marvelous Japanese pitching staff that also features who I feel might be the greatest women's pitcher of all time in Yukiko Ueno, who is now somehow 40 years of age as Gasparotto fouls that away. Italy had a tough time at both the Olympics and at last year's World Games in Birmingham, Alabama. But they've had a lot in this program. Gasparotto on the ground, and a quick out recorded is Japan. And that's the one thing. It's funny. Seeing them again today takes me back to watching Ueno for the first time. She was 19 years old in her first ever World Championship in 2002 in my hometown of Saskatoon. And I actually, during that tournament, Amanda, I might have enjoyed watching them as much take infield and outfield, the Japanese, as I did watching them play. They do not make a lot of mistakes, do they?
They don't, and that's what makes Japan the elite team that they are. They practice for hours and hours and hours, and it shows. When they make an error, it is like a huge deal because it's so rare for them, and that's what makes them Japan and reigning gold medalists.
Beat the United States last 2 summers ago now. And there's a Good opportunity by Laura Vigna, who's playing in left field, number 21. She's 24 years of age, from Turin in Italy. Miwa high in the air. And the center fielder calling off the right fielder, and Miwa has retired the first two batters for Team Italy. Now, when you think about the team that you played for a long time, what would you say in how to describe Italy and their strength? And let's not kid anybody, thanks to people like yourself, they have come a long way in this sport in the last decade.
They have, and that's huge for the Italian Softball Federation in itself. But I think our bats really stuck out, especially with Erica Piancastelli, who's up right now. When we were able to have good at-bats, they were quality at-bats, and then just becoming a team over those years really helps on the field and how the team performs.
And Piancastelli, hard hit and a great recovery. That, in many ways, that play right there is Team Japan in a nutshell. As Hitomi Kawabata, or make that Kyoko Ishikawa with a great recovery. That was a rocket, Amanda, off the bat of Piancastelli.
That was great hit by Erica, really squaring that up, but typical Japan, hard hit ball, they get down, they get in front of it, and they're able to bobble it a little but still make a play. This is going to be a good game.
I don't think there's any question about that. We're through one half inning. Japan coming to bat when we return to Softball City in Surrey, British Columbia. Team Japan, with a record of 1-0 in the tournament, will face the starting pitcher for Team Italy to open things off today is Elisa Cicchetti, who gets the call for Team Italy and delivers an opening pitch strike. Amanda, what can you tell me about Elisa and what she will bring to the table in this game?
So Elisa catching, actually, she's one of the veteran players on the team with Alexia pitching. And so both of them are a great matchup. They've been together for 2 or 3 years now. Alexia is one of the younger girls who's been playing the last 2 years here. And so, she's playing in college at Kentucky, and I think with that experience, she's going to bring a lot to the table, a lot more experience than she has in the last 2 years. And both of them working together, they're going to do great. I'm excited to see how they do the rest of the tournament and see how they go at Japan.
Ayana Nakagawa has a hit. She had 2 earlier today in the win over the Australian development team. And here is shortstop Kyoko Ishikawa. And a strike delivered by Alexia Lacatina, who is the starter for Italy. In terms of pitching, I had the other Cicchetti on my mind, Greta, who was so instrumental in helping your team qualify for the Olympics.
Yeah, Greta's actually playing in Japan this last season as well, so that's a fun full circle for her.
Now, was it just time for her in terms of national team, or where would that stand?
Of why she's no longer
Yes.
playing? I think so. She's been on the national team a long time. She's brought Team Italy up to where it is, a veteran, and I think she got the offer from Japan and kind of moving on in a sense. She's done what she's had to with the national team and now moving forward, which is great for her. She also played in the Athletes Unlimited series, so it's great to see her doing big things. It's good for Italy softball as well.
She was almost unhittable in that 2019 Olympic qualifier that your team won to earn a berth into the 2020 Olympic Games that were eventually played in 2021 thanks to COVID. And Lakatina paints the outside corner and strikes out Kyoko Ishikawa. So 1 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Hotoro Tsukamoto is the batter. And Lakatina again finds the outside corner with strike 1. Nakagawa at first with a leadoff single. And this is lifted to left. A long run, and it's carrying, and a great catch out in center field. Marvelous play by Julia Katsoyanopoulos, who I watched very recently as a catcher at the College World Series at the University of Tennessee. And Amanda, you mentioned the fact that this was her first year of being behind the plate. That has not been a regular spot for Julia.
No, I think maybe in training last year, summer training, she jumped back there when we were short some athletes, just out of practice maybe for a bullpen, but it was really great to see her back there. Shows what kind of athlete she is.
That wind is tricky today. It is blowing out. We've seen some balls even in the last game, and Israel win over Team Greece by a score of 4-0. It gets up in the air, and it will carry. And it looks to be swirling a little bit, and that can be the case at this park, I've noticed over the years, as Lakatina just missing on the outside corner to Risa Kawamura, who is playing in right field in this game. Kawamura plays for Denso Bright Pegasus in the Japanese Diamond League, which is their pro league. At last year's Asia Cup, in fact, it was earlier this year, she was 6 for 13, batted .462, had a home run and 7 runs batted in. Nakagawa on the move. The throw is not quite in time, and it will be the end of the inning because the call was a strike. So a good beginning for Alexia Lakatina and Team Italy. They give up a hit. Japan leaves 1. We're through 1 in South Surrey at Softball City on day 1 of the Canada Cup. To the top of the second inning. This is one of the premier games of day number one. Italy and Japan, part of the 6-team field in the most recent Olympic Games. Both participated in the World Games as well last summer in Birmingham, Alabama. And quite a crowd for the final, Amanda, for that game between the United States and Japan, who seem to play for every title.
Yeah, it was a fun crowd. We were actually able to go watch the game, and just that atmosphere really makes you appreciate the game that you love.
Barbara McKenzie is the designated player and leading things off for Team Italy. And a newcomer to Team Italy. And the pitch missing just outside from Kawamura.
Looks like Japan's trying to push the umpire and see how outside they're going to get that call.
Kind of pool cued. And Ishikawa, the fine fielding shortstop, didn't start there earlier. It was Kanakudo who's at second. But McKenzie is retired 6-3 and brings to the plate the catcher, Lisa Cicchetti. Facing Sakura Miwa, who plays for Toyota in the Japanese Pro League. Pitched 10 innings for Japan at last summer's World Games. First big international competition for this youngster came in 2017 at the World Junior Women's Championship in Clearwater, Florida, where Japan lost to the United States in the final. Team USA does not have their national team here. They did a year ago and won it because they're getting set. In fact, I think that qualifier in Dublin, Ireland, might start tomorrow, in fact. The first of three. There'll be one in Ireland, one in Spain, in Valencia, and then in Italy, where Canada, Japan, and Italy will all play, is Miwa with a strikeout on catcher Cicchetti, and 2 down. In the top of the second inning is Andrea Filler, who's playing over at second base with her first plate appearance. She's 30 years old, from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Andrea participating as well in the Athletes Unlimited program. In fact, this year, she had multi-hit games 4 times in the 9 games she played before joining her country's team internationally. An Italian Olympian. Amanda, you're very familiar with the batter. And Andrea with a good swing on that pitch. And fouls it out of play. Filler hit .213 at the Olympic Games. Had a hit versus both Canada and Japan in the tournament. And had a big college career in her time at Northwestern, where she averaged .351, had 34 home runs, and 159 runs batted in. Trying to deliver the first hit, and it's a change of pace from Miwa. And fouled back in as the skies have cleared. What's your early thought on this softball facility?
I think it's great. There's 4 or 5 fields. It's beautiful location. And there's a bunch of stands, so it brings in a lot of people, and that's what's great about this location, and it's exciting. I know they have the men's championship coming up in a little bit. Softball City. It's exactly what it is.
It is indeed. Returned here a few years ago for the first time in quite some time as Filler all over that inside pitch. And hit it hard, but hit it foul. The 30-year-old veteran, Andrea Filler. Miwa paints the outside corner. Perfect pitch. And she has her second straight strikeout. She's faced 6. She's sat down 6. And Team Japan, with a 1-0 record, coming to bat in the bottom of the second. You are watching the Canada Cup of Softball from Softball City in South Surrey, British Columbia. Bottom of the second inning is Alexia Lakatina. She's 21 years of age. As Amanda mentioned earlier, she is coming off a fine college season at the University of Kentucky. She is from Stanhope, New Jersey, and delivers a strike to the leadoff batter in this inning, Hitomi Kawabata. Amanda, when it comes to Lakatina and what makes her a good pitcher, are there one or two pitches that stand out that she throws?
I know she's got them all, and I think whatever's feeling on for her is going to be her go-to. I don't think she has one particular pitch. She can attack with anything that she has. That's what makes her so valuable on this Italy team.
Just 21 years of age and driven right back up the middle. And it's the second hit of the game for Japan and the first of the contest for Kawabata. And Japan, for the second consecutive inning, has the leadoff batter aboard. And a good piece of hitting went with that pitch on the outside corner and drove it past Filler. A diving attempt at second. Kanekudo playing at second base. She's one of the younger Japanese players as they continue to always turn things over with very talented players in a softball-rich country. And she hits this hard. Off the wall as Katsuyanopoulos couldn't get to it. And it turns into a long single. That'll tell you about Katsuyanopoulos' arm. She got that back into play, Amanda, in a hurry.
She played that really well off the wall. She's got an incredible arm. Got it right into Melanie Sheldon at shortstop, and I think could have saved a run, actually.
So a double by second base player Kanekudo. And back-to-back hits for the Japanese is Wee Nakamizo, the designated player, trying to cash in the game's first run. Not a lot of experience, not by my research, for Nakamizo. She did participate last August in the Japan-USA series. Kudo on the run, and she is thrown out by Cicchetti. Excellent work on the play, too. That was not an easy ball to handle and make the tag.
Melanie got down there really well. Looks like she might have got hurt, but she stayed down on that ball and was able to tag the run before she got to the base, which was really good. I know Team Italy's been working for a couple years on first and thirds, and it looks like that one was successful. Good for them. Hope Melanie's okay. Great throw by Eliza as well.
Melanie Sheldon with a short hop and a tough tag and paid a bit of a price, but a very important first out on the 2-6 throw out by catcher Cicchetti. And those are the kind of plays that can prevent a big inning. And are we going to have changes? Such an unfortunate situation a couple of years ago with Italy losing their longtime head coach. And Amanda, I know what an impact. We even talked about it on our way here today that he made on this program.
Yeah, we talked about Enrico. It's still hard to talk about losing him. It was so unexpected, and he was the dad of our family. He believed in every single girl that was on that team. He believed in Italy softball, and unfortunately with his passing, we took that really hard and lost a huge piece of us, and a lot of girls still carry that weight of losing him. But I know most of these girls that are on the field right now have something on their glove or something that represents him because, as the hashtag is per Enrico, we play for him, and they always will, because he more than anyone has brought Italy softball to what it is today.
Well, I know a tough subject, and you handled it beautifully. Wee Nakamizo, the designated player after the throw out. And a good pitch from Lakatina, the 21-year-old from New Jersey. Trying to get out of a jam here in the bottom of the second. In on the hands. Looked to me, Amanda, like that was a rise, and when that ball gets in on your hands, that pitch awfully tough to hit, isn't it?
Bunch of experience on swinging and missing on those, or you foul them off back to the fence like we just had here. But yeah, that's why that pitch dominates. It's so tough to hit.
Tough play for the new shortstop, with Sheldon leaving the game injured, and Japan takes the lead. Not sure if that will be scored a hit or an error. Tough play for the shortstop. And Japan on the board as Nakamizo cashes in. Kawabata from third. Brings to the plate first base player Haruka Sumatani. Up the middle and another base hit. And look at the speed here. Safe and great base running as Sumatani, no hesitation to move up to second, and now Japan with a couple of runners in scoring position. Sumatani has her first hit, and we have a chat in the circle for Team Italy. Is Japan, the reigning Olympic gold medalist, a true powerhouse in this sport, off to a good start. And here's one of their longtime veterans, catcher Haruka Agatsuma. And I know you can't see her on your screen, but Amanda's body language just said to me, this is an awfully good player.
She's someone we've spoke before, Peter, about how you kind of idolize them even when you're playing.
They're going to come home. And an excellent play to get Nakamizo at home on the ground ball to second. And over there now after the changes, that's Alessandra Rotondo, who came in the game and made a strong throw to home.
That was great. You could tell she had a pre-pitch plan. She knew what she was going to do if the runner was going. And you saw that. There was no hesitation there. She got her out at home.
So we had to make a defensive change or two for Italy. Is that a leadoff?
Oh,
that's a leadoff. What a day for that it has been. We had a massive protest, not that exact play, but in the most recent game. So Japan makes a mistake, they get a runner thrown out, and for Italy, they have to feel pretty happy about the fact that they trail by just one after two at Softball City in South Surrey. Alessandra Rotondo, who came in the game after an injury to shortstop Melanie Sheldon, banged up on a fine play she made at second base to cover over from her shortstop position and make a great play on the throw from catcher to second, but was spiked, it looked like, Amanda, in the process, and then a bunch of defensive changes, but Rotondo came in. Filler went from second over to first, and Rotondo on her first touch came home with a ground ball to take away a potential second Japanese run. And so she leads things off for Team Italy in the top of the third. We expected a good one, and it's off to a fine start. And how about that play? Always been dynamite on defense. And that is a fantastic effort by Ishikawa, or Kawabata, over at third base. That was well worth another peek. Robs Rotondo of what looked to be a certain base hit. Hit it hard and well. Julia Longi is the batter. She knows a thing or two about the hot corner, and this will be an Italian base hit. Their first of the game off of Sakura Miwa. And Longi with her first hit of the Canada Cup. That looks like a situation, Amanda, where hit the ball where it's pitched.
Yeah, and Julia is very good at that. Tons of hits that way. She's really good at shortening up, just putting the ball in play like she just did.
And here is University of Tennessee college star Julia Katsoyanopoulos. Already watched her make an excellent catch and a great throw from center field. She was the starting catcher this year for a team that went deep into the College World Series. What a talented group they were. Losing out to Florida State, and then the champion from Oklahoma. And if you ever get a chance to attend the College Women's World Series in Oklahoma City, I recommend it highly. Had a chance, it was my second. I'd not been to one since it was staged in Omaha, Nebraska in 1987. But went back this year. I'd been longing to go back. It finally worked out in my schedule. And it was fabulous to see the crowds. The quality, Amanda, is just, I just sit back and shake my head most of the time in the stands during the 4 days that I was lucky enough to be there.
Yeah, that's an incredible experience, whether you're a player or a fan being out there. It's almost like the Olympics in a sense. It's the highest level of college ball, and the fan base out there, it's just incredible. I've been out there a few times, played out in that stadium, and the atmosphere is overwhelming.
Well, Katsoyanopoulos knows all about it. She just finished participating in a change-up and a dynamite one from Sakura Miwa, the young pitcher. Born in the year 1998, so 22 years of age, coming 23. The top of the order. And Marta Gasparota, now over at shortstop, started the game at first base. The leadoff hitter for Team Italy. In their first game, Japan trying to run their opening day record to 2-0 and lead 1-0, but it could have been a lot more. They look poised in that last half inning to really open things up. But a good defensive play and then a running error by Japan. The ground ball. And yes, even the pitchers can field on this team. Well, a lot of them can, but I don't think Coach Itsugi would have it any other way. Gasparota grounds out. Japan leads Italy in this excellent day one clash, 1-0 after 2.5 in South Surrey. Japan with a 1-0 advantage as they hit in the bottom of inning number 3. 4 hits on their way to that 1 run. Is Ayane Nakagawa 1 for 1 in the game. Now 3 for 4 in the tournament. Had a couple of hits earlier in the opening game win this morning against the Australian development team. Katsoyanopoulos showing off her skills. Makes a diving catch in center field.
That's a great catch by Julia, but I do have to say she does that all the time, whether she's in a game or practice. That is her go-to. It pumps everyone up at practice, but that's a great play to come through with on a game.
Kyoko Ishikawa struck out. Not this time, however. Right back up the middle. And she has her first hit of the afternoon. Does Ishikawa in Japan's 5th hit of the game as they look to potentially extend their lead. Left fielder Hoturo Tsukamoto flew out. Katsoyanopoulos made a fine play off her as well to prevent a hit back in the first inning. Tsukamoto was 4 for 14 at the Asian Cup, won by Japan, as they beat Korea in the final of that tournament earlier this year. She hit .286 in the event with a triple and drove in 5. 4 of her runs batted in came against Hong Kong. As Alexia Lacatina continues to give Italy a good starting performance. And she's been helped out by excellent defense. And wanted that one, Amanda, badly. Trying to find the outside corner and just missed. Tsukamoto was 1 for 3 in the game this morning against Australia. As Japan had no less than 18 hits in that opening game win over the Australian development team. I've mentioned it a couple of times, the number 1 group getting set to play in the qualifier right at the left fielder. For out number 2 is Laura Vigna barely had to take a step over there. That's a nice play to have to make when you get one. And there are 2 down in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Risa Kawamura off her hands. And a nice catch. That sun makes it feel a whole lot warmer. It was a pretty chilly beginning to the day. Not that I have to tell that to someone who spent her whole life in either California or Italy.
Yeah, it was a bit chilly for me this morning.
It's a bit chilly for me, and I'm from the Canadian prairies.
But it's really nice out now. It's perfect softball weather.
What is perfect softball weather for you?
A little warmer than this, but
yeah.
It's anytime you can get out and play, it's great. Especially when you get to watch Japan and your old Olympic team play.
100%. Kawamura struck out against Lacatina in the first. And strikes out again. Perfect pitch. Strikeout number 3 of the afternoon for Alexia Lacatina. And it remains 1-0 Japan after 3 at the Canada Cup. But it will be interesting, Amanda, to see how much they are used, talking about one of the all-time greats in Yukiko Ueno. And I think the new young star of pitching in the sport in Miyu Gato. Now, there are lots of Americans I could put in that same category, but I don't know about you. What were your thoughts on facing Gato and the work that she did at the Olympic Games? And at the World Games, for that matter.
Right. She's an incredible athlete, only to get better. And, you know, you really have to be on your game because she can bring anything at any time, just like most of these pitchers internationally. But, you know, you have to plan ahead. You can't get up there and guess. And that's what's tough about these Japanese pitchers is they have it all.
Erica Piancastelli, a big part of the Athletes Unlimited program. I've watched her a lot on television. It's so great for these women to finally, such an incredible sport with great people, great athletes, to start getting some more attention. It is so deserved. She also played this year in the Japanese Pro League for SGH Galaxy. Piancastelli, born in Italy, but grew up in Carlsbad, California. Went to McNeese State in college. Actually competed right here in the 2016 World Championships, where she batted .444 for Italy. And her mom, Loredana Oletta, played for Italy in softball in the 2000 Olympics. And she absolutely clobbered a hot shot at the Japanese shortstop, Ishikawa, who made an excellent play to prevent Piancastelli. Every time I watch her swing, it's, you know, she's a great hitter. It just, her approach, and she hits the ball hard.
She does. If she can elevate one of these with her power and the wind that you've been talking about, it's gone, and I'd like to see that right here.
Goes the other way. Great piece of hitting for Piancastelli.
Erica's really improved as a hitter. She was a little young and just wanted to hit home runs, and now, as we just saw, she waited late on that ball. The umpire's kind of given a couple balls outside. She took that right where she needed to. That was great.
And Piancastelli has her first hit of the Canada Cup. And her team's second hit is Mackenzie Barbara is the batter. Gets the signs. One on and one out. A chance for Italy to draw even. High in the air. With no trouble. I let that hit a chance, Amanda, actually to carry a little bit more when it left the bat, but it really didn't, and was a routine play for Risa Kawamura out in right field.
Yeah, Mackenzie's just a little early on that ball. If she can be a little patient, wait on it, that thing's over the fence.
Catcher Elisa Cicchetti, 0 for 1 in the game. As Miwa continues to work effectively. Base hit again to right. Piancastelli on her way to third, and she'll get in there safely. And Elisa Cicchetti has her first hit of the Canada Cup, and Italy threatening for the first time here in the fourth.
Yeah, they're doing a great job taking that ball where it's pitched. Right side's getting a lot of action. Huge hit from Elisa. Let's see if they can capitalize on this.
And a very good opportunity for an excellent hitter as well, and Andrea Filler, who struck out in her first appearance. And Japan's going to talk about the first and third situation, and is a longtime middle infielder. What are these discussions about in this kind of situation?
I'd like to be a little fly on the wall in Japan's conversations and see how they differ from ours, but I'm assuming they're just saying, let's get an out. We've got 2 outs. If the ball takes them up the middle, they can go to 2. Otherwise, get something low, get something on the ground where they can make a play. They have incredible defense, incredible infield to stop a ball. So I think that's what they're kind of looking for here with runners on first and third and 2 outs.
Well, Filler has had a great start to the year in Athletes Unlimited. She had hits in 9 of the 11 games she played, and she'd love one here. Member of the 2020 Olympic team. 3 for 13 in the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Runners at the corners with 2 out. For the first time, Japan facing a bit of a jam. Miwa found the outside corner. Not overpowering, Amanda, by the looks of things from what I can see up here as far as Miwa is concerned.
Looks like they're really painting the corners, though, trying to get Filler here to chase a ball. Not overpowering, but the spin of the ball really is deceiving, especially when you have an umpire calling a few balls off the plate and stuff. It's tough to see where that's going to end up and where you're going to have to really barrel it up to make some solid contact and score a run.
And a great pitch. Excellent execution by Siwa. Italy threatens, but leaves runners at the corners, and it remains 1-0 Japan here in South Surrey. We expected a good one. We have a good one. And Italy, wouldn't say squandered an opportunity, but had their first real opportunity to cash in at runners at first and third. And Sakura Miwa with an excellent pitch against veteran Andrea Filler to get herself out of trouble. And Japan looking to add to their advantage. So we start the bottom of the fourth. They're 1-0 already in the tournament. Started this 8-team women's international competition with a resounding win against Australia earlier today. And the batter is number 15, Hitomi Kawabata. And Alexia Lacantina giving up just 5 hits. Japan had Italy in a lot of trouble in the second, but could only score 1. Excellent defensive play, cut down a run at home, and then Japan was caught for a leadoff to end that inning in what had the makings of a big one for the Japanese, who have returned to the Canada Cup tournament, I believe for the first time since 2017. And there are a few players on the team that participated here in both that Canada Cup and the 2016 Women's World Championships. Both of those events were won by the United States with wins in the final over Japan. It's interesting now, and it seems like it might be an annual event, the Japan-USA Series, and there's a base hit. Stuck the bat out. And 2 for 2 now is Hitomi Kawabata as Japan with the leadoff batter aboard, Amanda, here in inning number 4.
Typical Japan, you know, they're late in the count. They throw the bat out where it needs to be and get some solid hits just to get base runners on.
Kanakudo. Middle infielder. Foul. Down the line from Kudo. Saw a number of these players play for Japan in person a couple of years ago in what was my longtime job as the color analyst of the Calgary Flames of the National Hockey League. Was in Tampa, never miss an opportunity to see a good softball game on a night off, and I happened to be there on a night where the Japanese national team was playing a doubleheader against the University of South Florida. So watched a number of these players on that particular night. And yes, there are times when the people in the hockey world have looked at me and gone, "What are you doing tonight?" Yeah, I'm going to my love of softball. And a base hit for Kudo just out of the reach of shortstop Marta Gasparotto, who did not start there. Melanie Sheldon did. I know who used to start there for a long time. She's about 1.5 feet away from me in the booth. And Japan, back-to-back hits. Kawabata and Kudo, they're both 2 for 2 in the game. And Japan squaring around to bunt is their designated player, Wee Nakamiso. And she has a hit as well. The only international competition I was able to find for her was that 3-game Japan-USA series that will played again in Japan this year in early August. And she was 0 for 4 in that 3-game set. Japan won that series 2-1. Again, hit it where it's pitched. And this one's going to cash in the second run of the game. There's an RBI single for the designated player, Wee Nakamizo. And Japan has extended their lead to 2-0. And the right fielder did not handle it as cleanly as she would have liked to. Amanda, there might have been an opportunity to come home if that ball is handled cleanly out in right field by Erica Piancastelli.
Yeah, Peter, with Erica's arm, there's definitely a play possible at the plate. So a little bobble there does score that run. And let's see if Team Italy can kind of come back here, get an out, kind of regroup, and only allow that one run.
The Lacatina, who's gone the whole way, the 21-year-old from New Jersey, coming off a fine season at the University of Kentucky, has given up 3 consecutive singles and a run now. And the batter is Haruka Sumatani, another fairly new player to the international scene, and takes a strike on the inner half from Lacatina. Sumatani played for Japan in the U19 World Cup in 2019. Plays for Bic Camera, a powerhouse in the Japanese Professional League. Born in the year 2000. She had a monster 2019 U19 World Championship. She was 12 for 24, homered twice, drove in 10, and had both hits against the United States off Alabama star Montana Fouts in the final, and this is hit well to left, and it is gone. Haruka Sumatani clears the bases with a home run to left, and Japan leads it now 5-0.
That's one thing with Japan, unfortunately, with that air in right field. They're definitely going to capitalize on any type of air, and we saw that here again. Alexia did a great job coming out with those 2 strikes, but Japan, these strong hitters, just dominate.
So 4 runs for Japan and still no outs. In the bottom of the 4th is Haruka Sumatani blows it open with a home run. And looks like we might have a change. And we most certainly do have a pitching change, as Italy will now give the ball to number 16. And that is none other than Alice Nicolini. And you're very familiar with her as well, Amanda.
Yeah, played with Alice, an Italian. It's got the accent.
Okay, so thank you very kindly.
Played with Alice my whole time with Team Italy. I love playing behind her. She is more of a, she gets ground balls. Not really a strikeout pitcher. When she does strike out, the fire that she's got behind her is incredible. And she gets the job done. Again, Enrico was someone that she really looked up to. And so he helped her just continue to play, and she's continuing to play, getting better every year from what I've seen, and I'm excited to see how she does this year. And she's always put in tough situations. It's an ongoing joke. But kind of a fresh start here. So let's see what Alice's got.
Alice Nicolini, 28 years old, was 2-1 at last year's European Championship. 0-1 at the World Games in Alabama, where, yes, she was thrown in to a tough situation against a country I know pretty well. That would be Canada. And it's never easy when you face Haruka Agutsama, longtime veteran. You know you have a good lineup when she's hitting in the 9 spot, Amanda.
Right.
We get a look at Alice Nicolini.
I guess if you're coming in against Japan, there's no easy time to come into them with their lineup, like you said, hitting 9.
I know one of the long-time hopes for Greg Tim moving forward, and he and I talked about it, a long-time chairman who has just done an amazing job with all the events here, is to potentially almost set the schedule here so that you have maybe the top 8 teams almost year in and year out on the schedule to participate in this event. How incredible would that be?
That would be great, especially with with the Olympics being out of play. Softball being out of the Olympics, the Canada Cup to have top 8 teams here would be incredible. I think that's what fans and softball players are looking for, especially when you have athletes like Nicolini striking out Japan players and continuing on. We have Australia and Canada, all those teams here. I think it would be incredible, and I know that's what Greg wants as well.
Absolutely. Tournament off to a nice start. This is just A1, and Nicolini, excellent beginning. Strikes out Agatsuma and then gets Ayane Nakagawa to ground out to second, and there are 2 down. So she comes in relief of the starter, Alexia Lakatena, and has closed the door on what has been a tough inning for Italy. Given up 4 runs on 4 consecutive hits. The big difference maker by Haruka Sumatani. In terms of Nicolini's go-tos, what would you say would be her strengths?
I know when I play against her in the Italian league, it's a change-up, it's a change-up, it's a change-up. But her change-up's incredible. Anything that spins, going downward to get those ground balls. But just like we saw here, she shut him down, and that's what Alice does best.
Alice Nicolini, 3 up and 3 down. But before that, Japan strikes for 4 and lead Italy after 4, 5-0 here at Softball City. Japan puts up a 4 spot in the bottom of the 4th and have a sizable 5-0 advantage against Team Italy. Italy playing its first game, Japan already with a win in the books. And they would most certainly, Amanda, be the favorite to win this event. The United States does not have a national team. However, in Canada, Italy, TC Colorado, which is the Triple Crown program led by Dave King, always brings good teams, and they had a marvelous team last year here. Is the base hit by Barbara Rotondo, a good beginning. As Italy has the leadoff batter aboard. Their 4th hit of the game. And exactly what they're looking for. I was amazed having an opportunity, Amanda, to call it. And I asked the question out loud. I don't know the answer, but I'd like to know the last time the United States necessarily lost 2 games with their national team in the same competition, and it didn't happen against Japan. In fact, in my research, I'm not sure I could find it even against Japan in the same competition. Because you think about what happened recently in the Olympics. The U.S. won the round-robin game. Japan. In what occurred, in 2008, the same thing happened. So I'm not sure when the last time the United States national team lost twice in the same event, and they did here last year to TC Colorado, and that's a good roster. And Longy.
So many incredible pitchers, even again like in the Italian league, going over to Australia against Kaya, Barnaby, and everyone out there. They're all different in their own ways, like everything. They all bring in their own aspect to the game.
1, 2. It's pretty to watch. It really is. It's always been my favorite part about watching Japan in this sport internationally. 6 to 4 to 3.
something we love to see from Japan. You're right, Peter. It's so smooth. Double plays are fun, and they make it look so easy.
And they are not. And that one, you couldn't draw up any better on a chalkboard as Longy, who just missed doubling seconds earlier, grounds into the 6-4-3 double play started by Kyoko Ishikawa's having a day at shortstop. And a great turn by Kanakudo over at second, who started their first game at shortstop. You have to watch this team practice, in all sincerity, I think, to really understand what allows them to perform. You did mention it's the repetition, and they work at it unlike any other country in the world, don't they?
They do, and one time specifically I can think of, we were down in Australia for the Cup, and we had just played them. Mind you, in Australia, they do a heat break. So you get a half an hour break in between games. And after that game, they went and practiced for hours on end. And that's just Japan, and it shows.
A great double play helps them in the top of the fifth. Japan leading Italy 5-0 on day one of softball's Canada Cup. Japan with a 5-0 lead on Italy. Japan played a couple of exhibition games on the weekend, including a 4-0 victory on Saturday evening over Team Canada. They will meet in the final day of the round robin on Friday. Looking forward to that. We will have just about every single game from this diamond. The other diamond will be used at times. Right beside us, diamond 2, but this is where the action is, and this is where you will find Canada in all of their games. And we'll definitely have all of those for you. Starting with Canada's tournament opener as Kaylee Rafter's team opens against Australia's development team, Gasparoto. No trouble handling that. Pop-up at shortstop, and credit Alice Nicolini. That's a great name. I'm glad you helped me with it too, because I prefer the Alice.
With the last name too, it's very Italian, very fun to say.
Yep. Oh, I could use some Italian tomatoes right now.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of food withdrawals this year.
Oh boy, I wonder why. My wife and I went there, I guess 6 summers ago on a trip, and I'm not even a big tomato person, but whew,
delicious.
They taste like candy over there. What a beautiful country. I highly recommend it if you have not been or ever get the chance. Is Nicolini, change up, and change up. That courtesy of analyst Amanda Fama, the former shortstop, longtime member of the Italian national team. So great that she's made her way up from her home in California to join us on our live streaming. And we'll continue all week long to provide great insight from someone who has done it where it matters the most and done it internationally and at the highest level in the sport. And Nicolini has that change of pace going and is certainly, that's not an easy adjustment either, is it, as a hitter, to go from more power to And I'm sure that's why they use her on a couple of hops to Rotondo. And 2 down as she's faced 5 and retired 5 since replacing the starter, Alexia Lakatina.
Lice's doing a great job here, getting the outs, ground balls, pop flies, working Japan hitters. And even if you know that changeup's coming, it's tough, Peter. Maybe we can get you an at-bat against her.
No thanks. No thanks. Maybe 40 years ago, I would have given it a try, or forget about 40. I'm not quite that old. 30 years ago, I'd have given it a try. It's funny, I joke with some people, who love the game of baseball, and I love the game of baseball too. I'm a massive sports fanatic. But some guys who do not have any familiarity with the women's game are like, oh, I could hit that. You could, eh? I'd like to see you try that at 43 feet. Something that Lakatina couldn't do. Get Hitomi Kawabata out. Alice has been excellent. And it remains 5-0 Japan after 5 in Surrey. Japan with a 5-0 advantage, looking for their second straight win in this 8-team competition. All teams will play one another in the round robin, and then we'll have the playoff round. That'll be great come Saturday and championship final day on Sunday here in Surrey. A healthy wind blowing out as Gasparotto fouls that wide of third base. Italy does have 4 hits, as Sakura Miwa has gone the distance so far for Team Japan. A pitching staff of 4 that also features all-time great Yukiko Ueno and the young star, 22-year-old Miyu Gato.
I think it's interesting, like you said earlier, how much are they going to pitch all of those 4 pitchers with the group staging or the qualifications coming up pretty soon here with Canada and Italy in that bracket? Are they going to expose their strengths a little bit?
It's hard to say. I guess we'll get a better idea.
We'll see.
I bet we see them against TC Colorado. That one is circled on my calendar.
Japan's even surprised at that one.
Yeah, I thought that was a little outside. I know that batter Gasparotto certainly thought that it was. She's 26 years of age, the batter. Softball coach, I understand, at an academy there in Italy.
She's doing camps and clinics. Right now she's actually playing for the WPF professional team, the Texas Smoke. I think she flew straight from Texas here, competing out there, which is great to see. Again, these international athletes coming over to the States and playing.
She's from what looks to be Pyrrhus, Italy. And I apologize to all our Italian viewers. I may be getting that wrong. it's not hard to get the majority of Italy's hometowns right because they're not necessarily from Italy. But she is. Canada, by the way, talking about that women's pro fast pitch league, they played the Florida Vibe in a 4-game set in Nashville after training in Oshawa in Ontario. Wanted to go out and watch Canada practice one day, and it rained, and you are so good over there, it's almost borderline unfair. What a game for the Japanese shortstop, Ishikawa. My goodness, is she having a day over there.
Great play.
Superb effort again.
She almost caught that behind her a little bit. Has to take a little bit of an angle to get in. That's what makes Japan great. They can read those balls so well. The reactions are so great. As a hitter, you almost can't be mad. Marta squared that up, which was hit really well, but it's hard to get it past the Japan defense.
Kyoko Ishikawa is putting on a clinic at shortstop. I know that there's another great infielder of days gone by and not very far gone by in Eri Yamada, part of the coaching staff now. Vigna. And handled in right by Kawamura. And there are 2 away in the top of the 6th. And the most dangerous batter, I don't think that's unfair, in the Italian lineup is at the plate and has a hit in Erica Piancastelli. Working her outside, and that's really been exactly where Japan has gone with a majority of the hitters today. Piancastelli is 27 years of age. Longtime veteran of this Italian team, and must be an incredible legacy when your mother played and now you've played in an Olympics. And a ball that actually is not handled by somebody in red and black. Piancastelli, massive numbers in her college career at McNeese State, which is not, one of the high-end NCAA programs. Playing in the Japanese Pro League as well. And she can flat out hit. And this one's coming back at us. Thank goodness I have a shortstop right beside me. Piancastelli looking for her second hit, and she's more than capable of taking it out of here in a heartbeat. Sawa took something off. That was a change that missed outside. You don't want to make a mistake in the inner half with this batter. Goes to right again, and Kawamura comes on with a fine running catch. Sakura Miwa has held Italy to 4 hits in Japan. Goes to the bottom of the 6th in their second game in Surrey with a 5-0 advantage. How are you feeling so far about doing this?
Good.
Good.
I think.
Good.
What do you think?
You've done very well.
Like we said, it's easy with Italy, so I like to. It's hard not knowing any of the real players, like on Australia and stuff, to have some personal experiences with.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I would just say in those situations, probably just focus more on anything that's situational that comes up.
Okay, yeah. That's what I figured, just...
Second base player, Kanakuto. Already with 2 hits and has scored a run. She was cashed in by the Sumatani 3-run drive that really broke the game open in a 4-run 4th inning for Team Japan, leading it 5-0. Trying to go 2-0. And they're expected to play for the title come Sunday evening at 6. And I think it would be quite a story if they are not. But there's always a reason why you play them. And teams like Italy and Canada and TC Colorado in particular, don't count out Team Mexico either. They've brought a good team. Things have changed, though, Amanda, as you know, with Mexico. Had an excellent team at the Olympics and had a chance to call almost every one of their games in the qualifier. A qualifier they won, or at least finished first. They beat Canada to clinch the first of 2 Olympic berths in the Americas qualifier here in 2019. Dallas Escobedo with a marvelous performance against Canada on a Saturday afternoon in this park that was absolutely jam-packed in 2019 that earned them the first berth before Kaylee Rafter, the now Team Canada head coach, walked it off against Brazil. And that's a memory for me that I will cherish for a long time. And Kaylee always mentions it. Yeah, I did like the call. Well, that's good, because I was delighted to make it. And we'll have some more fun calls before the week is over. We've already had a couple today. Some wonderful defense played as for the first time since Alice Nicolini entered the game on the rubber, there's a base runner. And it's courtesy of a walk to Kanakuto, and it's my first viewing of her, and she's an impressive player. Number 16, a middle infielder, played against Australia, at least started there at short. And today, over at second. And after what I've witnessed from Kyoko Ishikawa, I'm not sure anybody else belongs at short. But,
yeah, I think she's made it clear.
Oh, what a day. And when I tried to play the sport, either baseball or softball, I played in the middle of the diamond myself. So I have an extra appreciation for anyone who is good defensively at second or short. Because Lord knows I couldn't hit to save my life. The leadoff runner aboard, and the batter is the designated player, Wee Nakamizo. Already with a couple of hits in the game, on 2 hops. Nicolini, strong throw. Not always the easiest play for a left-hander, is it, Amanda, in that situation?
It's not. She's really got to pivot her body, rotate her hips, and get around. But Alice does it great. She's one of those pitchers who field, like you talked about earlier, and she holds down any ball hit at her, bunted towards her.
Yet to give up a hit. Only just the one walk. I will always, in every game, describe her when she comes in, thanks to you, Amanda, as change up, and change up. Change up Nicolini. And is Alice throwing well in this game? And delivers another strike. That was not a change, by the way. And Haruka Sumatani was the last batter that Alexia Lakatina faced, because her last time to the plate, she hit a 3-run home run, number 25, to left field. The only home run so far in this game. plays with a powerhouse in the Japanese league, Bic Camera. A lot of interesting names over there. Toyota, huge sponsor. Honda. Bic Camera. And the Japanese, they've renamed it the Diamond League now. And I have to tell you, I try my best to do some, I think, pretty good research in preparation. I'm not very good at reading Japanese websites. I think I spent 7 hours one day just trying to piece and mold, and especially from anything in Japan. You can obviously find them quite easily. Kudo diving around, Longy at third, and is safe.
Great slide, though. If you notice, that throw was a little off the base, but carried the third baseman, Giulio Longhi, that way. But with that slide, by really getting out around the base, is what secured her safe there. And yeah, I can't imagine. Well, they have translate buttons now on Google.
They do, but
it doesn't make sense in the end. So
it doesn't. I tried it, and thank you. That was a nice, kind way of saying, hey, older guy, there are ways around that. And I did find something, like I found some few things as a result, but they don't seem to break down the box scores or standings or stats that way. You can find names and base hit, and an RBI is the throw to third is a dandy. There's the great arm over there in right field from Erica Piancastelli, who threw a strike to get the runner at third. And Amanda, you had a sense the minute it left her hand.
Yeah, Erica doesn't throw. She doesn't throw offline too often. She also catches, so she's got that incredible arm. I like that Japan kind of pushed their luck there, but with Piancastelli out there, it's tough, and she threw that right on target.
So Agutsama with the base hit, and the runner for the catcher with 2 out. Something they installed many years ago to help speed up the game a little bit. I think it's a very good idea. Can be quite advantageous at times, depending on the catcher and their ability to get around the bases. Ayane Nakagawa been on base twice today. Japan has added a run on that RBI single by Agutsama, her first hit of this game. Nakagawa has had an excellent day. She has 4 hits. She had 2 hits earlier in the game. Was 7 for 17 with 12 runs batted in at the Asian Cup in April. 3 for 7 at the World Games last summer in Alabama. Had a double and 2 runs batted in, both of those in the game against Chinese Taipei. Chinese Taipei, again, would have been here, but they're involved in another qualifier. They put on a really nice show. This ball is well hit, and it is gone. Ayane Nakagawa is going to end the game with a 3-run homer, bringing the 7-run rule into effect. And Japan is a perfect 2-0. And Amanda, I guess I would say, didn't really feel like an 8-0 game. It was really a dynamite game until that 3-run homer by Sumatani broke it open.
Yeah, and I think that shows how these other international teams are getting better is exactly that. That Team Italy held them off with, besides these 2 big home runs, other than that, they were in the game. And that shows that Japan does dominate this sport, but other teams are catching up as well. So yeah, I kind of felt like it was a good game. You know, it was a good game besides those 2 hits, but.
So you've never done this before in any way, shape, or form?
Done what?
What?
Softball? Doing it for a little bit, Peter.
No, being on the air as a broadcaster.
No.
See? Comes easy.
I like to talk.
Well,
Just kidding.
Yeah, well, you know the guy beside you certainly does. 8-0. Well, you did very, very well. And we will bring you the next game coming up just after 6 o'clock when the host team, Team Canada, makes its Canada Cup debut against the Australian development team. For Amanda Fem, I'm Peter Lubardius. So long for now from Surrey.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. Softball Premier TV.